Could have easily went different direction if Lulux managed to find up some flanks, get some deep vision, get around the enemy team. I felt like H2K was constantly mustering in front of the Origen lineup, and then it obviously becomes a lot easier game to play.
Yeah, I would just like to see them use Origen as well a lot better in these fights. They kept forcing without him. Anyhow, same kind of bans in the start. We talked about how with the AD carries, Kalista might be just left open. Say we know Niels is a fantastic Kalista player. We're going to first pick it, and therefore you might force H2K to ban it and respect that.
And something we didn't see in the previous game was the Rumble at all. So far, no departure from the bans in game 1, but fairly heavy focus in the bottom lane. What do Origen consider first pick worthy? There's a lot still available for every single lane.
If Kalista is open, we should assume that is going to be the first pick for Niels. Otherwise, Shen, very high priority in the last game. Flex pick for them, Source can take it, Mythic can take it, and Alistar, of course, is a standard one if you don't want to early pick like a Rumble on top lane.
I think Oluwale could revert back to his Rumble. The way these fights were played out by H2K over time, and Origen did miss a ban here, so perhaps we'll get news on that. Until then, we can keep talking about what we do know. So there's 2 bans by Origen. They're so good they don't even need the 3rd one.
Well, there's that many powerful picks.
At least ban Donger then or something.
Ban Teemo, so people can't hover it anymore. But yeah, overall, getting Oluwale back to Rumble could be a good adaptation for him to do, because if he's late to the party, at least he can throw out Equalizer. Like the way you could beat this Origen lineup, if you're coming from the front anyways, Rumble could excel in that, you know, cut out the escape path and then just pile on top of them. So on top of that, he's just a fantastic Rumble player.
So same bans for H2K, and I'm not sure I necessarily think you have to ban Elise versus Origen in a best
Doesn't
out of 5.
seem like his style.
Right, exactly. I would probably rather say, I want to see if you even pick it, if I leave it open, and I want to see what impact will Amazing have in the early game. Yes, we know he can play it, but Gragas was such a good pick in the team fights, and that seems to be more the style of Amazing, where he wants to guarantee a little bit more late game for himself, because Origen is a team that tend to win fights around objectives in these big 5-on-5 team fights, unless they run these very global competitions. For Kalista, no real surprise.
Definitely not. Niels has played it 3 times, is undefeated, and has got a 19.5 KDA. How do H2K respond? Maybe stealing that jungler away.
Yeah, I want to see if they steal away one of the amazing junglers or the Alistar. However, it does seem that they lock in the Shen as a potential flex pick, however. So they can still roll it back to support if Origen lock in Alistar in this rotation. If not, H2K can steal it later and just build a very different composition. Almost stealing away what Origen was running themselves last game.
It's the same deal. A lot of priority on this Gragas here in the jungle. Lulu now will again be a contested pick in this series, because we saw how both teams had options of running it. H2K showed with the Olaf Lulacom, but then we had to protect the AD carry from Origen, which they didn't get to complete 100% because it was picked away. So it does open up to run somewhat the same. Obviously, you don't have a hyper carry now, but Kalista, what she can do in the mid game as well. Fantastic. Buff up with the Lulu, get the Hurricane. She can take over team fights on her own. So Origen running a ton of protection for her. And Lulu as well, go for mid and top lane for them.
Question is, what jungle does Amazing run? Will it be a Nunu and Goku for the complete uber protect the AD carry? He has done it before. Does he go Rek'Sai, which is still up, or Nidalee if he's looking for poke? What's your gut feeling? We'll have to see once H2K lock in 2 more champions.
So far, Origen is very disengage heavy though. Their main engage right now is throwing in your Janna. So overall, they still need to find some offensive potential, some like forward thinking, some forward pressure, because otherwise they might lean back too much in the game and let H2K control the game. Once H2K gets in a position of control, they're pretty good at closing it out. Once they get the first move to make every time, especially in terms of rotations, if they do choose to lock in this Tristana, which is obviously a good pick in lane to do, they can take towers incredibly quickly.
Yeah, that's going to be the key for H2K. When you see this much disengage early on, you automatically think to yourself, okay, do we want poke? Because again, they don't really have any way of engaging onto us, but then the Lulu Janna shielding negates a lot of that poke damage you're going to have. Or do you want something with long range where your backline can then match their backline in terms of damage, and becomes a fight of who can kill the tanks first or who can kill the front line? I personally think Maokai would be a good pick. If you're Origen, if you want some guaranteed engage, you want a big frontline tank, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lulu go top lane, and potentially something like an Azir maybe, if Pekka still wants to play it, come in for even more backline threat if you're Origen.
I like that second option more, because then at least you have more carries. If you go Maokai, you're very low in the damage department of your composition. It becomes almost too easy to telegraph. Yes, Maokai connects, then what? Because all your damage is resting on the Kalista, and easily Taunt Flash, Body Slam Flash, Dredge Line, Death Charge, enough ways for H2K to deal with that Kalista. So Pekka might actually go back to traditional Vladimir that he did week 1 to 4. But he feels comfortable on the RE2 from last game.
I think I prefer this more than the Vladimir. It's a little bit too slow scaling, doesn't offer any saved wave clear, which is what you often need when you run a Kalista. Yes, you can take down the waves with Hurricane, but it's difficult to do if people are already sieging on your tower, and there's a Tristana on the other side. So I like this pick more. adds in a bit more damage. The pick potential of Origen is great, and we get the safe jungler for Amazing as well.
It also denies it from Ryu. Ryu's only played 3 champions 3 times and a whole slew of others.
Time
but
for
he's
Diana here. Come on, Ryu,
undefeated.
do it.
We saw it earlier today in LPL.
I want to see the Diana mid lane, and you have a comp where you have Shin ulti onto Diana, and you dive in onto this Kalista with the knock-up from Nautilus. I'm just hoping
Into
here.
Monsoon
I'm
and
just
Hex
hoping.
and Wild Growth.
Well, you reset your ulti on the first one, you get Monsoon. Now your ulti back right in Crepo. I did install the Q once. I'm sure it can happen in the
I'm
LCS.
convinced, Diana boys. Overall, yeah, what does he reply with? He has played Cardis too at times, I believe, so that could be...
But against a comp that's going to run away from you, that's going to be very
Knock him
difficult.
down. Well, nah, Cardis is not a good figure.
Oriana, we've seen quite a few times, and then he
Yeah, like
switches instantly. This has been more the safe pick for him. And again, you have a lot of ways to deliver the ball and be like, here's a gift for you, Nils. Now you're going to die. Which is technically what H2K can start playing around in. Decent siege as well coming in.
I like Oriana into positions that are very, very disengage heavy and that slowly, cluster up around these objectives and towers because you have the time to move the ball slowly in the right position. You're not forced to do it too quickly, and then you have the zone control coming out of your mid. And this creates so much zone for Tristana. How are you going to get to Tristana? So you got to get through Shen, Gragas, and the Nautilus at the same time. While Tristana is just hitting away. Worst case, Tristana gets caught, you can put the ball on her, and you get an ultimate off. So overall, yeah, H2K have a pretty well figured out composition. Origen is pretty heavy on the disengage side of things.
Almost too heavy. I mean, it's one of those games where if Origen starts falling behind, they have so few ways of getting back into the game.
5 on the Rift to find out. And a reminder, this is the only game Origen will play blue side. And it's because H2K elected to go red side. Let's see if this helps or hurts them.
Remember H2K decided to ban the Vayne instead of Kalista against Nil, clearly respecting that a lot more. Tricky, or risky we can say for H2K because we have seen Nils take over games before, but still Origen. Tricky composition to play in Peke decides to change up a little bit more. Teleport in the mid lane. So we're gonna look at try and match the global pressure off a Shen. Obviously double global from him alone. Origen can also look then to split out the map in a 1-3-1 setup maybe later.
I mean, obviously the Oriana Ahri matchup isn't going anywhere in terms of all-ins. Maybe at level 6 you can find an opening, but Ahri can always opt out, and Oriana is relatively safe in her laning pattern. So overall, I think it's a good approach to go for an aggressive summoner in a different lane. Because teleport, allows you to go aggressive on top lane, on bot lane, without having to roam and fight for that push too much in the mid lane. So then in turn you can play safe, farm up, and just find these skirmishes, find these pickoffs that you're so desperately looking for in a champion like Ahri.
A little bit concerned maybe that it gives them too much mid lane pressure.
True. Because
obviously when you run Rek'Sai Ahri, you have a very strong 2v2 skirmish, but without having that ignite in the lane, it often becomes, as you said, just a pure farm lane. Oriana can easily shove it out, no real pressure to be applied. And that's what Origen needs to start snowballing the game.
Historically, however, Origen in the summer split, that has been their style. Playing a farm lane in the mid lane, expected just calmly farming up while his team is, at the first parts of the split, just winning the game. And in the later parts of the split, just waiting for him to join in to win the game together.
Luckily for Origen, they've been able to lean back on Niels all split long. With the help of Mithy, they've just stolen that Gromp, and as we've mentioned, undefeated on that Kalista. Production's going to show off some of his incredible statistics, as you can see H2K on the top half of the map.
Kasing coming towards the mid lane. Again, he got early level 2 from the camp. Wants to really start snowballing Rio from the start. Lulek's not joining, so it's just Kasing on his own. 2 more guys on the bottom side though from Origen.
Good charm from Peke, forced to flash the hook.
Shannon has killed E in the top lane already, so he has to push out very predictably to see if H2K can get back to the top lane in time. It does look like they're going for that maneuver where they clear out their own jungle first, then set up a dive to at least deny a potential teleport from Soaz coming out for that top lane experience.
And of course with Peke not having an offensive summoner and not having flash at level 2, Ryu should have a field day in that lane. We'll see how hard he can punish Peke, if at all, in the next coming minutes.
Ryu just needs to respect the fact that Origen is on the bottom side of the map. So as long as he sticks to the top side, he should be fine. We can see how Amazing is sitting around the middle and realizing there's no gang. So both of the junglers staying for themselves. You don't need to join in on the towers. Normally, again, we see the 2 top laners get it. But last time, Origen sent Source back to the top lane, denied him some farm, and gave everything to Niels.
I don't think it will be the case this time. Kalista fends a little better for herself. However,
Same again.
Mirror again, they value Niels over Soas in terms of farm priority. Again, we see here the traditional European sense of lane swaps 3v0 while junglers are clearing the jungle on their own. Back in the day, we saw people do it 4v0. This adaptation came out very early in the split and hasn't really changed over time. Still a bit different than how other regions handle their lane swap.
We did see some level of respect there as Lulex showed his face in the mid lane, forced Peke into the river, but no one from H2K chased further. Up until that fight, the bottom half of the map belonged to Origen. We have seen lanes backing. Suarez is heading up top. It looks like Mithy will be nearby. Niels is heading bottom.
It looks like Origen has a very big emphasis on dragon control, and they really want their AD carry to stick around that bot side of the map, make sure that they don't get outnumbered. Also, Janna doesn't really roam too well, so it's easier to keep, you know, just your two members on the bot lane if she can at least assist in vision around an objective, rather than have her stuck in the top lane trying to defend her AD carry and then roam outwards.
We've gone to Amazing, but no real follow-up. So just going to tunnel over the wall. Blame the dragon, guys. Smack it down. Anyhow, what Origen did here was a very quick adaptation because Amazing had the chance to, I'm going to say, steal the blue buff, even though technically because of the lane swap, he was already in control of the bottom side of the map. That meant he couldn't be top to secure that Source could return and push out the wave. So we had Mithy recall instead. There always need to be a guy holding the hand of Source when he returns to the top lane because of the way Origen is playing the swap. Otherwise, he just risks getting ganked in a lane that's pushing, and then he loses everything.
And this is the phase we talked about last game. Remember when Lulex came to visit that top lane to gank Soas? Last time he met the help of Amazing as a jungler. This time he just straight up goes over a ward, because Amazing is obviously in the base. I think he could have body slammed over the wall and went for a different path right there. Different. Same approach, different way. Right now, Soas is safe with the help of a ward right there. Didn't even need his jungler to survive that guy.
And the key thing is he got to push out that top lane. Last game we saw Lulex join in and we had the 2v2 fight. Prepper, you highlighted how Lulex should have flashed the body slam. He ended up dying, and that was very impactful in the game because it meant that Source didn't get shut down. Now we're going to start seeing some of these lovely trades when you're playing a melee support into the double rage, and especially Kalista. And the Janna shield is annoying for Tristana, but still, we have seen this matchup a few times being played out.
Yeah, the matchup only tends up winning for Tristana and the Nautilus if the Nautilus can connect the dredge line on Niels here on the Kalista, and then you can stack the damage, and you just make it so that the trade is too volatile for Niels to deal with, and then he has to opt out. If you don't connect that dredge line, then yeah, the passive from Kalista, the Ren stacks with the shield bonus are just too much to handle.
After Kissing and Hjarnan lost that heavy trade, they've gone back to kill the Gromp. We did see Peke also teleporting to the middle lane. Fell a little bit behind in CS, but with an early back and early return, is actually holding even despite losing that flash so early on. H2K continue to keep this wave pushed. Obviously, Tristana has a big helping hand in that fact.
Now we get that situation for Soas, where he needs to be so careful in the top lane because the wave is obviously pushing back, massive wave being built up, and he needs to make sure he catches everything. But that is an opening for H2K to make a play on the other side of the map because this wave is going to push down. Source wants to stay and catch it. Shen ulti is ready. If Source joins the TP, he loses almost everything again.
Just did a quick head count. There's about 12 minions in that wave in the top lane, so if Soas secures them, he's only at 29 CS. He will still be down 10 CS. So the pressure from Lulex, while it didn't result in a kill or a summoner blown, does result in a net deficit of CS on Soas versus Odoron.
We need to see Lulex make a play though. You know Shen TP is there, ready for you. Either you go bottom lane and you try and take a 4v2 dive, which is the risk you want, or you try and bait out the ulti from Peke in this mid lane again, because you have so much, what do you say, security in the fact that Shen can join in, and Lulex does not want to leave that lane right now.
Shen ulti is always a really good safety blanket to have in case your play goes wrong. However, you could just simply move in and ward the enemy jungler. Sadly enough, he doesn't have any wards on him, so should he have based or planned it out a little better, perhaps you could use that timing to just get vision, and that allows to set up the dive a lot easier, because otherwise it becomes very telegraphed.
You can also see how Origen is reading a situation very correct and being like, we're not going to make a play. Amazing is not going to go gank the bottom lane right now. He's just going to safely sit and farm his own jungle because we know what global pressure there is from the Shen. So H2K, in my opinion, being a little bit too slow, reading the minion wave on the top side, therefore losing a bit of an opportunity. But at Origen also just saying we're going to play it passive and not risking anything.
Yarn and Lulix and Kasing here together. It's so hard to force a play on Janna Kalista when they're playing passive. So they show to, they choose to do the easy approach to simply walk into lane, push out the lane, and reset the map, reset the wave. So the Woman is now picking up that wave that bounced backwards after he pushed it in. But the CS has, meanwhile, returned even.
Not even a BF sword ready for Yanin. Only 1,300 gold now to his recall, and so poor back timing for him. Has to go for pickaxe now. H2K not getting any advantages here in the early game, despite them having the big wave forward one in that top lane.
Marginally behind in CS. We're going to see Niels and Mithy backing, so some of that dragon control not under threat because Hyanin and Kasing back. Also to note, Hyanin has gone for a pickaxe and 2 long swords versus now the greaves and cutlass.
And this is so annoying for Tristana because you spike so hard on the BF sword now that you're scaling from the physical damage in these trades. Where Kalista, because she's building Blade now after the changes with her AD ratio going down and so on, has the very easy build path. You know, you can get lifesteal first and a cutlass. You don't need the 1,500 gold farmed up. So this sets Yanin pretty far behind in this lane, and he's falling further and further behind as well in farm.
The only rough part of that build is actually going from Cutlass to Blade of the Ruined King finished in terms of spikes, and that becomes hard when you face off against the BF sword. However, Niels is very comfortable here. Charmis is in the middle lane though, so overall with Origen are 400 gold ahead, purely in farm. We see Amazing finally posturing. That's what you do. If you can't gank any other lanes because they have Shen ulti, you bring yourselves to the Shen, knock up. Flash over from Amazing.
It's going to be a slow kill eventually. Amazing's going to tunnel forward and punishing Oda one there. Great play from Amazing.
Tough to watch. You know what's going to happen, and there's really no response. Lulix tried to move up there, but a little bit too late for him. Instead, H2K have gotten bot lane control in terms of deep wards, but they need that Shen alive again before they can do it.
I'm honestly very impressed with Soas's performance so far because he is getting the hardest job in the Origen squad in the early game. His lane doesn't get bounced back to him. He has to push out a lane somehow. Obviously, he gets help from his jungle and support, but he asks for that. Then he stays safe, dodges the gank, evens out the CS, and now, together with his jungle, procures a kill. Oh, very good early game performance so far from Soas in both these games.
I want to see if Pekka can have an impact in the mid game on this Ahri. Dragon is being started. We just talked about how the early wards were being placed from H2K around it. Obviously also with the pressure on top, and Shen has respawned. But with this teleport, and because Pekka got ganked so often in the start, again, it's the same. He's not rushing Luden Zeko. He goes from Real Nomicon to save that I don't have a massive amount of gold early on. But last time he had very little impact until team fights, and he started getting kills left and right. He's looking to do the same here, but H2K should be better at playing around it this game.
Origen show that they're well aware of Kasing's positioning and a couple of auto attacks, and you can see the averages there. Origen actually around 80% of their games pick up the first dragon. They got it in the previous matchup of this series, but H2K were the ones that secured it today. And Hyanin once again gets poked out. H2K, they keep showing Lulix bottom, but it's not gaining anything for them.
And I don't understand this setup here because Ryu just recalled to base when Lulix shows himself. Normally you would want Ryu to stay in mid lane and at least go toe-to-toe there, and then you show Lulix so there's the possibility of a roam coming in and you can like 5v3, 5v4 dive. Instead Ryu gone back to base and Lulix just walks into lane.
Yeah, and it just gives Soas the comfortable position to just push out his lane calmly. He knows he doesn't have to be afraid of the ganks because the jungle is literally inside in the bottom lane. That again prompts Pekka the liberty to push up his mid lane first. What do? They combine those efforts for a roam to the top lane, secure yet another tower for Origen.
I really want to see Lulix just get sidestone in this game here.
Yeah.
Because his ganks are not paying off. Instead, help your team through vision, because once you have all these wards in the bottom side jungle and you don't see Amazing there, you can very clearly say, okay, he's not down the bottom side, we know he's going to be top side, then you use that information.
Well, Peke's got a lot of information to work with because he's caught Ryu. Shockwave only catches Amazing. Odawamne arrives to stand united and Amazing's forced to run away. Peke, he followed in with the Spirit Rush. Now he's at threat of going down. 200 HP. Ryu flashes aggressively and protects himself for the kill and gets out alive.
Very well played from Ryu, knowing his damage. Odawamne is going to take this tower. Now Lulix joins in. Everyone from H2K might even just shove them for the next one. Or just say we take one, we leave it, because the bot lane, or sorry, the top lane was already being pushed from Source.
Now, if you get through that initial defense from Origen, then you can capitalize very hard, because all these lanes are pressured so hard on the towers. So top lane Soas really couldn't do anything there either, and Janna and Kalista are constantly stuck under that bot lane tower, so they can't react in time. Hyun is just going to push out this lane. He's going to shop with some well-earned gold, but there's still 1,000 gold in it.
Would have loved to see Soas, though, join in with Teleport.
Yeah.
Because he already had the lane pushing. He's not going to take the tier 2 tower this early on in the game. TP down with the Shen. Follow him. You have a 3v2 situation. This fight goes the complete opposite. You get the kill on the side of Origen, and suddenly this mid tower stays alive, and you keep the lead, or the big lead in the early game. Not sure why he decided to stay in lane and push it all the way out instead.
Soas was sitting on around 1.6k gold. Once Shen teleported out, I just checked on my different monitor here. He just decided to push out the wave, not let a slow push stack on the top lane. So he said, okay, I'm already too late. I'm not going to commit and chase the loss. Instead, I'm just going to make sure that the wave is denied and just move to base. Soas was sitting on like 1.18 gold there before he shot. Now obviously picked up the Athene's Charm on Ryu though.
Oh, we do see that's a good shockwave. Explosive cost knocks Peke to safety with the help of that Spirit Rush. Importantly, H2K have kept the tower alive. But look at the deep vision that Amazing was able to place after setting up that push on the mid-outer turrets.
The team's doing a good job always trading the vision here. When they see a play happening on the map, they try and counter it on the other side, getting the deep wards in for the information. Sidestone is completed for Lulix, so he's going to join in the party. The warding fun. And I like this. He didn't build it in the last game on the Lee Sin. I'm not sure why, because that is often what he brings in this early game for H2K and what he needs to bring.
He's going very aggressive to get both this pink ward and a little bit of a trade onto Lulix. We did see so as he's picked up his Holy Grail already. Returns to the top lane, almost level 11. Teleports up for both Soaz and Peke. And we'll see if they want to make a play either towards this next dragon in 2 minutes to defend some of their towers. H2K teaming up for that deep wall.
With the BF sword on Tristana now, her tower damage becomes insane. So what H2K needs to do is keep control of Ari in the mid lane. Again, we mentioned how it's their Morellonomicon first, so you don't have to be that afraid of the all-in potential. Still okay, but not as impactful as with the Lud and Zeko. So what you need to do now is keep vision around it, because Ari is a champion that needs to have these, gaps in vision where she can sneak in.
Yonen's in trouble. Stand United will complete, but it's too late. Monsoon's going to split up H2K, and here comes Soaz with a teleport. Shockwave once again only catching Amazing, but Lulix, my man, you've got to be more accurate with those casts. H2K lose 2, and Origen should secure themselves actually a 3rd kill.
Origen is just really good at reading H2K. They know that they wanted to go for that bot lane tower. That's why they were sending a couple of members to the bot lane. However, Shen was slowly pushing out a wave in the top lane. Instead of going there and challenge that, so I said, okay, no, I'm just going to work straight down the bot lane, assist my teammates. If a fight breaks down, I'm there quicker than a Shen. Shen teleport is still 4 seconds before it lands. Soaz was there immediately, and then Niels just has the liberty to play so aggressive, and he pulled it off. John dropped immediately. Let's watch that again.
So, they go all in with the play of the Ruined King, flash forward and everything. H2K reacting. You can barely react faster here with how quickly Yanin goes down, and now Origen will have the numbers advantage. Ulti on one guy, ulti missed completely for Lulix, means Odon is dead. And in the end, when you have so much mobility as well on the side of Origen, with Lulu, Janna, Kalista, Ari, it's tough to get away.
Soaz was in the lane, but because the fight went so far forward and Niels was hopping so far forward, he actually had to teleport to close the gap and cut off the escape path. But the teleport on to get all together, and Soaz doing well. 1-0-1 here. Involved in 2 kills, was put behind a little bit early. Those wild growths are definitely going to keep Niels alive in the later stages of the game.
And going back to picks and bans, the minimal amount of initiation from Origen could be offset by a strong early to mid game. And look, 4,000 gold lead, tower lead. Yeah, they've given up a dragon, but they've got so much power to challenge for this next one. Very smart play from Origen in game 2.
I mean, their initiation that fight was Niels hopping forward. It's not really a strategy you want to rely on later stages of the game, but worked out through into Zana offensively as well. And then Miffy obviously has the Monsoon to disengage afterwards, which knocks people back.
Just a great pre-planned setup from Origen. Trevor, you highlight how they've been setting up some of the division on the bottom side in the jungle of H2K. There's one outer turret left as well in the bottom lane. The DF Soldier Steiner shows up. They knew exactly what was going to happen. They had full vision of the area. And that's why Niels can jump forward on the AD carry. Remember that for solo queue, boys. If it's all dark, your AD carry should not jump forward. But Origen has set it up, and therefore, and again, they punish H2K.
Outer turret middle. I do not think H2K will be here early enough. The minion wave's coming up, and that's very low from a previous wave. Might be just too late. That should be another tower over to Origen. 4-2 and just extending this lead. This is the kind of game that we were expecting coming into the series. Strong advantage in the 10-20 minute mark, and then closing it up confidently.
Going back to Champs Select though, touching back on the point of the Elise ban against Amazing, it does really feel like Amazing's role within this Origen squad is not something you would expect from an Elise to be done. He has just this tanky, map pressuring jungler that can shadow the lanes, join in where necessary, provide deep vision. And he's doing well on this Rek'Sai, so we might need to see an adaptation from H2K come out, because Amazing is outclassing Lulex so far in every game.
Vayne as well being banned from H2K 2 games in a row now. This one, knowing that Kalista will be the first pick, seeing as also Origen didn't ban anything as the third ban. Let's see what happens around this mid lane though, because a lot of members getting close to each other.
Sean doesn't connect. Ryu does find a shockwave. It combos into a taunt, but Miffy will throw down the life-saving Monsoon. That will get Peke out at the cost of a few ultis.
Again though, Origen, oh sorry, H2K, they're setting up vision in this bot lane jungle. They just want Yanan to get a tower down. He's been working so hard the last 20 minutes almost for this tower now.
Wow.
Soaz, not really the guy you want to aim for here.
That was a flash from Kasing. Minion wave is cleared out by Amazing.
They know there are
some deep vision though.
They know there are 2 members in the top lane and they're trying to force too much, but they should just be happy with that one tower that Yarnan got in the bot lane. He can push out that wave. He could have joined them in the mid lane later on. Honestly, probably was the better choice for H2K to simply send somebody top instead of trying to force too hard. Lulu will incredibly safe, still has flash, still has wild growth.
H2K needs to make a decision a lot faster here. They're moving around the mid lane. They look to go top, being like, we can't really make it in time now. Very late there, they're going down to the bottom side. Giving more time to Origen to react. Do they want to push another tower, or do they want to recall and defend this one in time?
The answer is push another tower, Deficio. Hyun and Lulex, Kasing, they're hammering away. Explosive charge will detonate, and that will secure an inner turret as Peke is trying to keep them busy.
Baron is here.
Look at Baron. Everyone's grouping from OG, and with Niels, this is not a 50-50 Baron.
And talking about the 10 to 20 minute period in the game, we were praising H2K so much during the split about their shot calling, how they excelled in the 10 to 20 minute spike, but they're about to give up a 20-minute Baron, almost uncontested against Origen. Just a couple more thousand HP to drop, and then Ren can't execute.
Well, Rend is available, but it looks like OG have peeled away, not willing to take the risk. You did see H2K moving up in through their lane. And at 20 minutes, OG hold on to a sizable lead.
Just in time for H2K. Few more seconds, the Ren would have been there for like 2,500 damage potentially. The bomb ticking down, and on 1 second they managed to stop it. Defends the
Got the red wire, boys.
Got it, they defended. Trade towers as well, but both teams just having to react very quickly, being like, do we push another tower? Where do we move our members? Both of them were hesitating a little bit, and in the end, they'll win. Just trade towers.
It does seem, though, that every opening created by H2K so far has been by Ryu and his shockwaves. So we'll have to keep our eye on him. If he can, you know, procure another opening, follow up with the Channel to get any form of CC applied after that shockwave takes somebody down, then obviously H2K can start controlling the map, because Lulex hasn't found a single opening yet. 0-0-0. Has been working on that vision a little better than its early game, though, but hasn't quite just achieved just yet what was expected of him.
Yeah, and Ryu, of course, has been one of the main carries for H2K, along with Hyanin. They are so focused around getting Hyanin up and running. You can see the damage percentages there. Peke, some of the later poke champions, and his Vladimir in late game.
Yeah.
A large help in why he has a damage percentage. In terms of game one, it's similar sort of trends, with H2K going 31% damage share from their mid, and their AD carry, obviously top falling a little behind.
This game was there. Kalista for Nils, and the setup to protect this Kalista very late in the game. He should be one of the main damage dealers, or he will be. Look at me, Captain Obvious. He's an AD carry. Yes, he's going to be one of the main damage dealers. Instead, though, Origen needs to be careful they don't give enough time to Hyanin, because every time he gets just a few seconds on a tower, he can almost take it down. And now another fight in mid.
Body slam's going to connect. Amazing's going to get knocked back, and Mithy again with the life-saving Monsoon. This is 2 ultimates in a row. It's bought enough time for Niels to make it up. Amazing. Tunnels in, turns away.
Now, initially, Origen had a tower lead, but if they can't get something at another part of the map while the tower in the top lane is being pushed by Hyanin, then obviously that gold lead is going to shrink and those towers will even out a little more. This extended lane swap scenario, there's only 2 towers left here for Origen. Only 1, it seems. Okay, no, 2.
No, yeah, one inner turret remaining.
Still alive in the mid lane.
And just to touch on the damage that Niels is going to put out, despite the changes to Kalista recent patches, went for a BF sword after that last back, and a bunch of farm to spend. Doesn't need the Hurricane just yet. We did see Hyanin finally completing his eye edge and his zeal, so the arms race is extending. Origen had the gold lead at 20 minutes. They have the tower lead, and they have a dragon to contest with Vision in H2K's jungle.
And one of the things Origen do so well when they get these early leads is, it's something we highlighted very quickly in the last game, how Niels is often sitting in side lane farming. That is very safe for him to do once they have the map control, because they will always have these deep wards placed in from Mithy and Amazing, securing Niels to sit and farm. And then, because they run this 1-3-1 setup, they maximize farm on every single carry. So Niels has been getting that lane for himself, and they always just pressure you down every single lane.
It's a lot easier for them to do that now, because Ryu is sticking in the mid lane. Traditionally in H2K, Ryu will be the one who will take it out to the bot lane. When LeBlanc was very meta game, when he played Ari a couple of games, he would be the assassin in the bot lane, threatening the enemy AD carry trying to farm. Obviously on Oriana, he's just sticking in the mid game, farming off against the Kispeke. Sizable CS lead, 30.
He'll have to be very impactful in clearing these waves. For the rest of H2K, they need time from Tristana to clear them out. A very close proximity for Nautilus and Gragas. We did actually see Lulex forced to flash. He went in to steal the blue buff. It's unsuccessful, as you can see on your screen right now. And just a threat from Soaz, forcing Lulex out of the jungle in a way.
Scary Frenchman.
With that, Origen now have to crack the last inner turrets. Maybe this is where the lack of initiation can come back to hurt them.
Gotta crack the Baron.
Yeah, and the good thing about their composition is, because of the amount of shields and sustain that they have, and a good amount of kind and disengages, that they don't need the perfect deep vision to approach this Baron. Usually you will need wards in every bush, push all lanes, force them out, threaten them with a face tick. When you run Kalista, you don't need all those shenanigans. Just simply posture on a dragon here. Dredgeline connects and expect a knock-up.
A shockwave flashed away, but a flashball from Hyanin. He gets the kill. That was a lot invested from H2K, but they get their man. Soaz will be met by Oda1 as the rest of H2K undecided on where they want to push.
100% worth it for H2K.
Mid lane is exposed.
Mid lane open. Again, remember, it is a Tristana. These towers, they will die so fast. Origen trying to respond in the top lane, but they are fairly late joining in the wave here. Hyanin pushing in for another one.
You don't want to base race against this H2K lineup. I don't even think they will get the inhibitor in return. They might get a single tower here. Just keep your eyes on Ryu.
Soaz did not connect with anything really with that Glitzer Lance. Left the minion wave up. Minions are still standing. H2K, despite being golden down, despite being down in kills, towers, objectives, they get an inhibitor. Amazing and Niels, they will reply. It's an inhibitor for an inhibitor. And Origen back away.
But remember, H2K were the team behind in goal before here. Trading at Rio, taking a lot of damage. They're chasing up. Look here, up top, we have two guys coming in from Origen.
That's a flash forward. Stand United is available. Lulex looks for the disengage with the cast. But so important that Stand United is down.
And trading flash support for your mid laner. Trade I'll take any day if you are on the side of Origen. So we're back on Baron. Open inhib in top now. We have the ping ward on it. There's a ward just outside the pit though from H2K, so they know this is happening. But they're against the Kalista.
With the flash down on Rio, these engages become very telegraphed. Look for the ball being put on Shen, and then a flash taunt from Oda1 that will need to be used to get that ball in a position for a good shockwave. Risky Baron here, but execute is possible with Ren.
Amazing gets in a knockup. That's a four-man off to the tunnel. Niels is in trouble. He's low, but he's hopping backwards. He's kiting. He's surviving. It's Amazing that gets the first kill as it turns into a double. Now Amazing's peeling away. Peke is the only member of Origen to drop, but Baron was stopped. And Niels so close to going down at the beginning of that fight.
If Niels goes down there, that's a reset coming out on Karen. That could have been easy triple quadra kill. But fantastic kiting here. Good flash.
Soaz. He wants to stay alive. The shield comes up. Ryu, it's going to keep spamming the ball. Soaz going to take them on a wild goose chase. Going to go between towers. Depth charge as well. And a flash.
No assist.
But I think he bought enough time to at least prevent Baron. Here's that fight again.
Let's look at the fight. Remember, Origen have really no way of getting to Hyanin outside of Amazing, so he's going to be safe. And it's just a fight of how fast can Origen take down the front line of H2K, and therefore make sure Hyanin has to back away and be careful with the damage he's dealing. But these fights are close.
That was really close between just having a full-on ace from H2K, because Niels dealt so much damage while being on 5 to 10% HP. If they got that kill, that could have been very ugly. Hyanin, once he gets these resets, obviously now is hitting his 2-item spike. Had to opt for the Shiv. I do prefer Phantom Dancer on Tristana if you can afford it, but it's just also hard to get the components at the right time while still staying relevant in the game. So he opts for the Shiv. Also has a little more wave clear here.
And he's been behind every game, so gonna try and rush a bit faster towards the 3-4 item spike for himself. But H2K's late game, Braga scaling up, Oriana, Tristana. This backline is gonna deal so much damage, and with 3 tanks to try and shut down Niels and Pekka, they should buy enough time for Hyanin and Ryu to win the fights for H2K. So Origen has been very passive on the map. And it's bought enough time for H2K to look for picks as well.
The one reservation is if Ryu does not find that shockwave, does not find that damage, they're reliant entirely on Hyanin and some of the cooldowns. However, the 35 CS lead that Ryu's built up, we've touched on it. We're getting to the 30-minute mark. And Ryu is doing what his team needs. Got that death cap, got that Athenes. And that gold lead is becoming less significant the longer this game goes. Amazing. We'll find Ryu. That's the threat we talked about. Now he's somewhat left on the side lane. The cast will knock him sideways. Soaz is holding on to the wild growth. Is going to use it a moment ago. Defensive play from Origen. And Oda1 held on to his Stand United as well.
There was only 3 guys from H2K in the mid lane. But not enough from Origen to really start the fight. So they have to rely on these objectives. The Baron is still alive, 30 minutes in. They will get a third dragon for themselves, but they're going to keep looking for Baron and dragons to start taking the fights with H2K. I want to see Peke with a pink ward just try and create a catch. Once H2K walks into these rivers here where they shouldn't have any vision because they've been in control of Origen, Peke looks for the pick. That's what's going to win the fight for Origen.
H2K has been making sure that they don't move away too far from that mid lane so they can keep their red jungle under control and never get choked out of vision completely. In that sense, they're always ready to commit to the Baron quick enough in time before you can put it in when execute range. However, that means that your carries are sharing farm in the mid lane.
Talking about carries, the Protect the AD carry comp from Origen has got more powerful. Ardent Sensor picked up by Mithy. We also see a Last Whisper and a Void Staff in the last few minutes picked up by Ryu and Hyanin. So more damage, more buffing for Niels. He's going to have the on-hit from Wooloo. He's going to have on-hit from Janna and the Ardent Sensor, plus the BT and Blade. That's a lot of damage from Niels.
Value in the Ardent Sensor over the Harbinger because of the fact that Kalista obviously is not really a crit AD carry. More about getting the mass amount of hits down for the rent damage. Reason behind that one on the side of Origen.
I'm liking this Gragas pick up a lot more compared to the Lee Sin from last game for Lulex. If all you're going to do is play in front of your team and peel, no really needed to flank this game at all. He just has to keep his carries alive. So much sustained damage coming out of the Oriana and Tristana later in the game. All we need is one kill for Tristana to reset and just hop around these fights, reposition himself in safety, pick out the next target. Last fight as well for Origen, all the damage was being front-loaded on Amazing, who then at Wildcove. That's the most efficient way for Origen to soak up damage. If they can't get a fight like that, might see a more volatile fight come out on the side of H2K.
Despite all the globals on Origen's side, they can't really afford to split up. Look at the wave pushing towards their base in the bottom lane. H2K have pressure. Someone needs to respond. There is a lot of pink wards and vision in the river, so Origen may clear the wave and TP up if needed.
The only thing that stopped Origen from starting a Baron or getting full control was the Rift. Scuttler was alive, but is now gone. H2K had control of that one before, so there's only the few wards we see around the Baron from H2K. Rest belongs to Origen, and they're looking for one of these picks. I want to see where Peke is. He's the guy who needs to one-shot someone. Ari is so fantastic at playing around vision. Facing into a charm is almost guaranteed you're dead.
Pekka's pushing up the mid lane right now. Bot lane has been dead for quite a while. Nobody has put in any members to defend that, but that massive wave prompted response from Soa, so now he went down. H2K is looking for an engage.
So there's Amazing, soaking up the damage, the most efficient. Look at those Ren stacks. Command Protect comes in. Origen is tanking 3. Oduwamne, he taunts backwards defensively. And H2K managed to get away. The vision is so heavily in favor of Origen. H2K have to keep pushing forward to fight for vision. Look at that. H2K have no idea where Origen are right now. We did see Soa's using that teleport, and there's a banner of command minion down bottom.
Gotta move in again through the mid lane. Take a look at him here on the minimap. He's gonna go for Yana in the back line. He's waiting in the bush. Engage coming in.
Peel and fight. Niels is taunted. The shockwave is on Niels. He gets knocked up as well as the wild growth. But Peke was able to solo Hyanin off screen. Now Peke's looking for more. Ryu, I believe, is getting stand united. It will not channel. Oduwamne is left on the back line. H2K lose 2.
Pekka won that fight for Origen first. He picks off Hyanin off screen, then he connects another charm on Ryu. Both carries down. That should be Baron for Origen and could be the final stages of this game because their push will be so much easier with that Baron buff.
They've had control of this Baron River for such a long time. They're just waiting for the right moment. Pekka was hiding in these bushes here, and there's nothing you can do as an AD carry at that point. Your tank's already running to the Baron to stop it. You're just caught in the back line. You get assassinated. Fight is over. Beautiful setup from Origen, and they needed that. After giving H2K a bit of time to try and slowly claw their way back into the game, they finally get to set up that Baron, capitalize 100%.
Just heard from our observers and stats team. Hyanin dealt 900 damage that fight. That is how quickly he was taken out. Peke finding the targets he needs to. It gives Origen their first Baron this game, and the pushing power they need to try shut down the limited wave clear from H2K.
Let's watch that again. Pekka lurking a rush, and that is the risk you run when you don't have perfect vision control. You have to face like too many rushes at once, and you will start taking risks that can get punished this hard. Watch again. Charm coming in, connecting on Ryu. Lewis couldn't soak that up. Sun United gets used, but obviously Ryu is going to drop. And this is what Origen were looking for. They're looking for that final pick. Could actually see an adaptation here. When you're running so many tier 1 trinkets that you don't upgrade, I like to see double Scrying Orb against compositions like this. When all you have to do is buy time, just having that one extra eye checking in every 30 seconds or so could mean the difference between having to make that face check or not.
All of that stemmed from that vision play that Origen set in motion several minutes before. Waiting for the crab to die, getting those wards down. Inhibitor top has respawned. Origen are applying pressure both middle and top. It looks like H2K should be able to hold top for the time being. Peke will secure the 7th tower of the game for Origen and push it into the inhibitor towers.
And Kalista simply offers too much pressure around these objectives here that Origen likes to use so well. That's one of the reasons they can force H2K to rush in to try and stop a Baron, because Kalista is sitting there building up the range stacks, and they did it, or they've done it again and again and again, this split here. So I really feel like that is a mistake from H2K in that pick and ban phase.
Origen able to secure the inhibitor uncontested. We do see the QSS picked up for Niels, as well as those captain boots for Mithy. So many options to keep that carry alive. And Niels has continued to step up. Another inhibitor turret might fall in the next wave or two.
What I do like about Origen is, yes, they have a composition that could easily finish off a Baron. They're not afraid to peel off. They don't tunnel on it too much until it's absolutely guaranteed that they will get it. Before that, they just use their vision to work for picks. They have an assassin in the mid lane that got to the Baron inhibitor, and at the verge of taking a second inhibitor kind of in the mid lane. We're 36 minutes of the game. Origen leading by 9k goal right now.
Fantastic play from Origen. And with the number 2 seed coming in, gents, the number 2 seed has beaten the number 3 seed in the European LCS. All 4 times the matchup has happened. This is the 5th. It could continue through. Dragon number 4 as well. There is a massive minion wave down bottom, but Peke arrived to clear that out and pick up all the juicy farm. He now leads Ryu when he was down 30 CS not 10 minutes ago.
And that is because Ryu and Hjarnan were forced to share in the mid lane. Neither of them felt comfortable enough to move to a side lane to farm. Not even Oduwan there, with double teleport, was comfortable enough to start split pushing. So the lanes were divided, or subtracted. You were only playing the game on 2 lanes. And in that sense, the team with the superior vision control and more power to force the face check is obviously thrive and going to come out on top, because eventually they'll have to face check and eat a charm, and that's what Origen forced right there. They were comfortable playing on 2 lanes and make it into like kind of team fight type of deal where you always have the chance to do the Baron because of the execute. If it was a 50-50 smite, Origen would have to change their approach. However, with that Rend being able to threaten the Baron, the same way Ryu is looking to threaten Niels right now.
And Ryu one-shot Niels. No, because, wait, the shot wave hit! The monsoon's coming out. Niels is life stealing up. He QSS's and Niels is still alive. He's already back to about 50%. Gets taunted, hops back in. That's the kill. Origen have lost in primary damage dealer, but Peke will not go quietly into the night. Mithy is in full retreat. He's gone James Bond, but he's got no license to kill this fight. And Ryu, hiding in the bush, finds a kill on Niels. Origen, they're not relenting though, because they have supers in 2 lanes.
Yeah, and Origen decided to re-engage after the AD carry took so much damage. Niels walked in front of Odomnik, got taunted, and ends up dying. So H2K buying a bit of time, but they have so many super minions to deal with.
It's free farm though.
Origen can still, like, they don't even have to clear the wave. Or clear the wave, win the game. Right at this moment, you got 4 dragons to take the next one. You can go for the same Baron setup. No reason to take too many chances, but Ryu's on his own now.
Run! The charm doesn't connect. And despite that movement speed from Soaz, Peke unable to find his man.
Yeah, if Origen can keep eliminating these carries in terms of flashes, then obviously they'll have to go for these sneaky engages where they get a brush check off, but I don't think Origen will make that same mistake again. So in that regard, see this way the fight plays out. Niels a little too audacious in that fight. Origen managed to peel off the no reset for Hjarnan. So all in all, it was just one man going down. Origen, yeah, they can just repeat what they were doing all game. Wait for a Dragon, wait for a Baron, superior vision control, force the map to be played on 2 lanes. Just wait for that crucial mistake coming out of H2K.
Despite the fact there was only one man, it is the man that matters.
When he's running around.
Niels is looking for more. That's a flash forward from Amazing. Aggressive once again. Lulix will be going down. Origen team up. Use the Void Rush. And we find yet another kill. It is important to note that Hjarnan does have QSS, but I think there's too much to deal with when you've lost one of your primary tanks. So as looking for more. It's a Lance, not going to connect. And Origen, do they push in with supers or do they peel for bottom tower? We'll find out shortly as they're inside the base of H2K.
Use your super minions. You got waves coming again and again and again. H2K, at this point, you might just try and taunt someone on the tower and hope they can win the fight, but they're just so far behind.
But Origen is not here to take these towers. They're just here to push H2K in their base as far as they can, so that when they do peel backwards, all vision hopefully has been disappeared and they can force a big multiple brush face check. And in that time where H2K has to be hesitant in terms of face checking those brushes, or Origen could simply take a Baron or punish H2K. They make room for so many potential plays by pushing in this far safely, as long as they stay outside of those towers.
You look at the vision on the map though, Crepo. H2K do have a ring of wards towards the top river, as well as ones that are slowly timing out in the bottom half of the map. So Origen need a few more minutes before they can 100% say they are in control of vision. They're not going to get it this time around. H2K have managed to push all the way to the Baron, but they did cross the deep vision Origen placed.
Remember also Origen is running this double TP composition, so Pekka is now applying pressure on the bottom side, will force Odoamne down, but then Odoamne has to decide between defending super minions coming in mid lane and stopping Pekka obviously from taking the tower. But for now Origen is just going to reset the whole thing. Go back, buy items, maybe try and kill Ryu.
Another aggressive flash. Soaz gets caught by the shockwave. Stands united. Will keep Ryu alive this time until Pekka arrives. Odoamne is now going to get focused by every single member of Origen. Gets lobbed in by the Fate's call. Mithy finds his man. And with 2 members of H2K down, including the primary wave clear, Origen may have enough to break H2K's back. They've got a 10,000 gold lead. They're onto the Nexus turrets in the 41st minute of the game. One is down. Origen set their sights up for the next. Niels flashes defensively with a shield from Bloodthirster and Lulu. He's got over 1,000 bonus health. Hjarnan zoned away from the minions, the monsters, the champions, and everything. Origen go